We are one! We are one! Queensland teachers must unite!
Queensland teachers must unite!
Standing up for what is right!
Standing up for what is right!
For compliance and tyranny! Set our Queensland teachers free!
I don't think they want us in there. I don't think they want teachers who have free thinkers, who are courageous, who have conviction, who think outside the box, who are ready to stand up against injustice and oppression and tyranny. I don't think they want you in there. That's the reality.
The Education Minister's name is Grace. We've determined she's a disgrace. So we're going to go to the Department of Education building now and try and have a chat with her and ask her some questions about why she thinks it's fit to discriminate the teachers that are educating our children that play such an important and pivotal role going forward.
So what do you say? Are we going to let them get away with this? Are we going to let them bully our teachers? What we say is discrimination based on medical records and clear violation of Australian human rights. Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Louder. Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place.
You can come back to work on a reduced pay, and if you don't start behaving yourself, I'm going to sack you. I acknowledge my decision to impose the above disciplinary action may affect and limit your human rights. However, in my view, any limitation is reasonable and justified. This is because the public interest in ensuring employees of the department comply with reasonable and lawful direction outweighs the potential impact on your human rights. You're effing kidding me. My decision is therefore compatible with human rights, she says. No, it's not. No, it is not. And Crowley, I direct your attention towards Section 17C of the 2019 Queensland Human Rights Act. Every person must not be subjected to experimental, medical or scientific treatment or procedures without their full, free and informed consent. What just happened to these teachers? You are in direct violation of the Queensland Human Rights Act 2019. The Attorney General's webpage discusses non-derogable rights. I don't even know if I said that right. Derogable? Certain rights are non-derogable. That is, they cannot be suspended even in a state of emergency. Article 4, subsection 2 of the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights provides that no derogation is permitted for freedom from medical or scientific experimentation without consent. You are in direct violation of the ICCPR and have gone against the direction of the Attorney General's own words. You're full of shit. They have infiltrated every single establishment on this planet, and they have their people running it. If you think you can vote your way out of it, you're wrong. If you think you can sit on your ass and do nothing and things are going to get better, you're wrong. You must engage and become active. However that looks to you, only you know that. You need to look inside yourself, work out how you can help, and then do it. Take that first step. Turning up here is not enough. Turning up at a worldwide rally on a Saturday in a park is not enough. They're vital. It's vital that you turn up for different reasons that I mention all the time. which is, it raises the morale, it builds the momentum, it increases our numbers, it spreads awareness. Then without those three things, you can't win any war. If your troops don't have high morale, if they don't believe they can actually win, if you don't have the momentum, and if you don't have numbers, we got zero chance. So this is why we do this. 3.5% of the population is what studies show that we need to create change that the people want. Maybe we can do it with 2, maybe we need 4. 3.5% is what the studies show.
Hey David, how you doing?
Numbers. It's a numbers game. Our first speaker today is the State Secretary of this little teachers union over here, a woman named Tracy Tully. Let's welcome her up to the stage.
Thanks, Tricky. Please put your hands together for this guy. It's amazing. And for yourselves, every single person that attended today took your time out from your family first, and your work, and everything else that goes on. You know what? They told us we couldn't wear red. They said it was their colour. That's Labor. You can imagine what I said back to them. I can't repeat it, I'm in public. So we will wear red. We will wear whatever we want, whenever we want, however we want. We are here because we are standing with Tricky and every other single person here, no matter who you are, what trade or work you do, whether you're a young child or a grandfather or grandmother, it doesn't matter. We're here for everybody, and we're here because we need to have a voice. So I'm going to ask you to do one thing for me just right now. I would like you to all turn around and face that beautiful building there, because it does represent what we want. It's only a couple of jerks in there that will push back against us, that's all. We can stand up, we can have a voice, and we will honour that, and they will not stop us. So put your hands up and feel proud of who you are and show them what you've got. And guess what? We are the class clowns. I love that challenge. Cane me all you want, Premier and Minister, because you will not win. I wrote to them 10 years ago and told them that. I wrote a book just to prove it to them that I will not go away, and neither will you. We're talking about numbers today. Tricky brought up numbers today. If you listened to the news this morning, you would have heard Peter Credlin talk about what the Premier has given herself in the last 12 months. We're talking about money, honey, and 2% in September last year, 2.25 in March this year, and a big fat 2.5 in September. Overall in the last month, 6.75. Pay rise, ready to the Premier. Is she worth it? Absolutely not. And we're here because people in this crowd dared to exert their right, their sovereign right to bodily autonomy. That's what we're here for, to support a right to choice.
That's right.
And we have to keep that right to choice. We have a lot of teachers in here who've come here and they've told me their story, and we know those letters, what a disgrace those letters are. Oh, they need to go back to school. They need the caning, don't they? We're not going to isolate them and single them out. We don't do that. But those letters are wrong, and we have what's called cogent evidence, court-ready evidence for that. They stuffed up, as they continue to stuff up. every single day in our schools. They blame us for the staff shortage in the school. It's been going for 10 years. And they dare import people into our schools when we have our own. And a lot of them are standing here, ready, willing, and able to teach our kids. They deserve that. People ask me why I've not seen a lot, and that's because I do case management, which means I try very hard to represent as many members as I can. And what I'm doing is I'm in rooms, commissions, or wherever it is, in principals' offices, trying to fight the good fight on behalf of our people, because I can, and I should, and that's what I'm paid for to do. Guess what? I don't get paid a big fat wage. No way. I do this, it's a love job. I don't get paid fuel, accommodation. I'll go and swag it in a member's house. Because that's how it should be. That's what we should be doing. We should be helping each other and not wasting money. We don't save the dolphins, sorry. TPAQ doesn't save the dolphins. We don't save anything else. Sharks, dolphins, turtles, we don't do that. We look after our members and that is all. We don't buy alcohol to do it. We just put our money into advocacy, and that is for industrial protection and legal protection. And now you want to know about that, don't you? You want to know what's been going on, don't you? Because you're not hearing much, are you? That's why I'm here today. I'm going to share with you, so you're the first to hear, that we have definitely got a plan for legal action for those letters. And I was speaking to Nigel yesterday, so he gave me the green light to tell you that. So I'm sharing that because you deserve that knowledge. And I'm going to share with you one other. Because I know that you haven't seen or heard any wins with unfair dismissals. And I'm here to tell you that we've had a massive win. Absolutely ginormous. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you anymore because it's legal. And we don't want to jeopardise that, do we? So my biggest message to you today is do not fear them. Do not be scared. There's nothing to be scared of. They are just people. That's all. Just like us. Absolutely not. Be fearless. Thank you. Before I go though, we know what you've suffered. We know how this Department of Education and every other government department has hurt people. We know what they've done to your families, to your marriages, to your homes, to your children, and they have no right to do that. Two people up there, the Minister for Education and Industrial Relations thinks that it's quite acceptable to push us around. She also thinks it's quite acceptable to do and say whatever she pleases and make idle threats like they should be sacked. Or even worse, we've got one guy up there, head of HR, he said to a grandfather who spoke to me, he said that, they could have gone to jail. Can you believe it? They could have gone to jail. That is the attitude and that is the culture in the Queensland Department of Education, and it hasn't changed. Read about it, it's in the news this morning. So, what I ask you to do is join Tricky Drawing Us and continue to make a stand, because it's only just started. It has been a long haul. We told you it's going to be a marathon. We told you you needed endurance and that you would hit the wall. Yep. But we also told you, as athletes know, when you hit the wall, you can push through it. And that's why we're here today, to learn how to push through it. Break the wall. I love that. Break the wall. Get on there. Thank you, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks, Tracy. Round of applause for Tracy, guys. Fighting a good fight. So that monopoly they're trying to create with the unions, it's like the illusion of democracy that we currently live in when you think about it. Here, choose red or blue. It's the same thing, so it doesn't really matter. We're still going to do what we want and what we plan to do anyway.
How are we
So
doing?
pretend like you don't have a bone here. Make yourself happy.
Yeah, that'll be good. Alright, well, I'll just start off. It's pretty hard to follow up from Tracy. She's an absolute legend, a hero. In the eyes of everyone and our union. And before I start, I just thought I'd speak to, as a testament to all the folks who work for my organisation. I can't speak for the efforts of anybody else, but it really shows in the actions when they turn out like this to stand up for workers' rights and freedom. And it's good to know that I have colleagues and people who have strong principles and all these allies around me who are willing to come out and stand for what's right, despite what everyone else might say, despite the pressure. So respect to everyone. A round of applause for everybody here today. Thank you so much. Now I have a bit of a script written here to speak to the bill more so. This is really a day for the teachers, but it's a matter that affects everybody. And so you'll have to forgive me for reading off a script. It's not for any disrespect for any of you. If anything, it's for the most respect. I want to get it right. So here goes. This is the matter at hand.
Excuse me.
This government
We want to go to
is
union.
petrified of scrutiny.
Thank you.
This is a government petrified of competition. They don't want it at all, folks. Not at all. This is a government, quite apparently, petrified of allowing workers freedom. No freedom for you, just for them. Anderson Dawson walked out of this house after being sworn in on the 1st of December 1899. Bit of a history lesson here. His was the first government formed by a Labour Party in the world. He dreamed of a government that would protect workers. Look how far this Palaszczuk government has fallen. Boom. Exactly. Queensland is in the inevitable state, and this breaks my heart, and I'm sure it breaks the hearts of everyone here who's a Queenslander, of being the most heavily taxed and indebted province in all of Australia. We, and I'm sure all of you would agree, unhesitatingly throw the onus of the present deplorable conditions upon the squattocracy and would-be heroes of civilization who have alone governed the country up until this present moment. These heroes of civilization, they care not for the common man, but for filling their trough. The piggish Palaszczuk governments. A sinless party, the Queensland Labour Party are not. We all know this. My whole life, and I'm a young man, I'm 23, has been gross, Goss, Beattie, Bligh and Palaszczuk. The few times that workers received a pay rise that outstripped inflation, the short blips in history, the LNP were in government and the unions found their voice. They're trying to take our voice away so that we can't represent you. They want to isolate you so that you're in danger and you can't stand up for yourself. They want to destroy you and crush you under their heel. You're insects to them, folks. That's why we're here. We have to make a stand. Yet we haven't lost our voice. The Red Union hasn't. That's why we're here, folks. This government is so afraid of having us at the table to bust up cosy arrangements that they're bending the law to the point of near irrecognition to muzzle us and stop frontline workers from getting a better deal. In fact, and this is a matter of fact, folk, I never ever lie, on God. This Labor government has presided over the greatest period of industrial carnage this state has ever seen. Bulwark against the great sacking was the various red unions, standing shoulder to shoulder with teachers and other frontline workers. Where were the other unions? Did they defend our members?
No!
Did they defend our members?
No!
That's right. They were silent. No, they weren't just silent, they were complicit.
That's right.
On the day, 28 February 1973, another history lesson, the Australian Prime Minister, Minister Gough Whitlam, signed Australia up to 2 notable international organisation conventions. Now this is important, this will sound like a bit of nothing to all of you, but allow me to explain. C87, Freedom of Association and Protection of the Right to Organise Convention, 1948. And C98, Right to Organise and Collective Bargaining Convention, 1949. These conventions gave Australians the unfettered right to join and form their own trade unions. It prohibits government interference in what should be the self-governance of these unions. You should all have the right to join together and form to represent yourselves. They want to take this away. The government's own Industrial Relations Act, the two that I just quoted, references these conventions. The new rules fly in the face of Goff's will. They have removed traditional protections from industrial associations, meaning that they want workers who organise outside the banner of a registered organisation to be vulnerable to their attack. Just what I was speaking of, folks. They say these rules make registration pathways more clear and more expensive, as we all know. They themselves admit there can only be one. If a teacher can already conveniently join or belong to a registered organisation, then they cannot register their own unless they strike out against legacy unions who, as we know, folks, aren't present here today, are they? They would never show face. They're too intimidated. That just goes to show our power. That's our power. Not only this, but their legislation attacks our very structure. The fact that these unions are incorporated mean others cannot even attempt to register. The pathway is not more clear. The pathway is further blocked. This is cartel behaviour. Why are they doing this? I wonder why. Follow the money. Where is the government's bread buttered? Follow the money. Their unions, not independent unions. Follow the money. They're hoping that 17,000 independent union members, and that's just for us folks, I'm not going to speak for anyone else, that's us, will go flooding back, paying double for half the service to fill their coffers. That's an extra $3 million per annum that ends up benefiting the Labor Party. That's corruption. That's cartel behaviour. How is this anything other than corruption? They think they've beaten us. They think they've crushed the workers, but they've drafted legislation that 17,000 Red Union members and other United workers, like everyone gathered here, can drive a truck through. And one day soon, Anastasia Palaszczuk and Stephen Miles will wake up and wonder, are we the bad guys? They'll ask, did we lose our way so badly that we resorted to trashing workers' rights for our own self-interest? We won't wait for this epiphany. No way, it's too late. 17,000 workers have already taken up the banner to take action where our government will not. 17,000 have stood up to present the Labor government squattocracy and corruption. We've stood up to stand against that. 17,000 workers understand fully the value of choice and the value of freedom. That's right. We will not be curbed. We will not fold. In the words of my leader, Jack Maguire, the leader of our union, if they want to stop our unions, if they want to stop us fighting for teachers, nurses and frontline workers, then they'll have to make it a crime. Teachers, up the Red Unions, up Queensland workers, and down with whoever the Industrial Minister for Industrial Relations is. One choice is no choice, folks. One choice is no choice. Thank you.
Thanks, Jackson. What's the time, guys? 11:45. We'll do one more speech. 12 o'clock, lunchtime. Some people are going to come down, so I'll wait for them and they'll go on the march. I met a guy in Canberra named Dylan. I saved him in my phone as Dylan Churchy because he wouldn't sharp about God. Now, we had some really good, interesting conversations, and we had a bit of a bond going from the word go. So he's a teacher, or was an ex-teacher, I should say. He felt the pump off it as well. So I've invited him up to have a chat to you guys from the perspective of it.
Bodily autonomy is our birthright. You can't have it, you can't take it, you can't plunder it, you can't coerce us, you can't incentivise us. We're not going to do what goes against our own conscience. That's our God-given right, that's our birthright, it's not for sale. Teachers, IT professionals, IT staff, cleaners, teacher aides, I say all them because I'm still in contact with them today. I had a phone call just this week I had a phone call from an IT staff member who said to me, I'm hurting, man, I'm hurting. He stood and now he got this second round of bullying from this government and he's hurting, he's feeling alone, it's tough out there. and it's like they've added insult to injury. They're rubbing salt in the wounds. We've done nothing wrong. We stood up for our God-given freedoms. We stood up for our bodily autonomy. It's our right to do it. So, not content with having stripped us of... Now, there's a rumour going around, even when I was speaking to a state member yesterday in the ALP, there's a rumour getting around that teachers somehow got some pay during this time. Let me assure you, from the 23rd of January, we didn't get any pay.
No.
That's a rumour. I don't know who's spreading it, but everyone out there needs to know we didn't get paid whilst we stood up for our very basic God-given freedoms and human rights. We did not get paid a cent, but we did it out of principle. And as Tricky said, many of us have sacrificed so much. I've got to meet so many of you, travelling down to Canberra, you know, giving everything up. People, I've spoken to teachers who have sold stuff, who are mowing lawns, and we're doing it because we're you know, when I said to my friends who went back into the classroom, you know, hold your head high. Your conscience is intact. Your bodily integrity is intact. And in fact, people in there should be thanking you. And I don't mind saying that to people face to face when they kind of go, oh, you know, I've got a bit of a breather, I'm not getting the third shot, no way. Well, thank a freedom fighter like me. Thank a freedom fighter like you. Because I tell you what, they purchase 7 or 8 shots per person, and they're not stopping it because they just think it's not a good idea anymore. It's because of us. It's because of the righteous resistance that rose up in this nation that they had no idea was there. So there's a reason why there's some semblance of choice back now. And it's not because they had a change of heart. They're hell-bent on enslaving everybody, taking away people's right to bodily autonomy, overriding their conscience. You see people, they're broken. I ran into another teacher the other day in the car park at my local shop, and she was crying. And she's got the text messages from the school, from the principal. I said, you keep them, because it amounts to bullying and coercion. They're all there. She finally got it. She felt like she couldn't come to Canberra because she had it. I said, you could have come down. You could have come to Canberra. It's not about whether you've had the shots or not. It's whether or not you wanted to stand for choice. It's whether or not you wanted to stand for freedom. We're a big family, and we'll stand with you. If you feel like you've been bullied and coerced, you tell your friends out there who've had a couple of shots and they didn't want them. You say, come to the next protest. You come along. Because people, this was an ambush on a lot of people, and they weren't ready for it. I feel like I was born for this day, you know, when they came for me, you know, they kicked me out of the school before the mandates were even in place. They set me up with a timetable that I wouldn't do, and I knew what was going on, and I had to get out, took leave. But I tell you what, a lot of people weren't prepared for it. And I feel for them, and I feel for every one of those people that I'm talking about. But this behaviour card, like the union was saying before, have a look at it. You know, you see these kids that go around the classroom, they carry one of these. They're different. You know, the other kids know about them. Oh, you're on a behaviour card. You're a naughty one. And you know what? They're meant to give it to the teacher to sign off. They're meant to give it to you at the start of the lesson so you can observe their behaviour. Right? But they often give it to you at the end of the lesson. Okay, and then decide. The teachers know what I'm talking about. But we're on one of these. And that letter that Tricky read out shows that this is about if you keep doing the wrong thing and keep being naughty, there may be more consequences for you. You know what I think this is about? I don't think they want us in there. I don't think they want teachers who are free thinkers, who are courageous, who have conviction, who think outside the box, who are ready to stand up against injustice and oppression and tyranny. I don't think they want you in there. That's the reality. The state system, the state education system is on tilt. It's on its knees already. It's gone to the dogs. Behaviour's up here, staff morale's down here. There's woke agenda all through the schools, and they're trying to turn out conforming debt slaves who don't ask any questions. That's what they want to turn out. And guess what? You and I, we don't fit that. We're not going to be the people who can deliver on that. You don't want you in there. That's what this is about. because we're just getting a taste. This is just a taste, friends, of what's to come. Teachers today, who's tomorrow? Who's next? Who's next? Wrap it up. Tricky, I'm just getting started, man. I really am. If you think I should have enough... All right, I'm going to wrap up. What's that? Give me 5 minutes. Apathy, lethargy, timidity will be the death of Western democracy and our freedom. So today is a day to decide what side of history you're going to be on, what you're going to tell your grandkids, and what you're going to do from here on in. Today is a day of fresh resolve, and today is a day of redemption as well. I'm a big believer in redemption. You know, our government here have doubled down on tyranny and oppression and injustice and segregation, when they should be, in fact, repenting, apologising, making restitution, providing compensation, calling for an investigation, cooperating with an investigation, looking for justice. Instead, they're doubling down. They're doubling, they know they're wrong, they know this thing never stopped infection and transmission, there was never any good reason, health reason to kick us out of the classrooms, they knew that. Omicron was on the move before the mandates took place. Nick Coatsworth, the doctor, was on TV saying we should let it run. South Africa showed that the vaccines weren't stopping it. They know they're wrong, they got it wrong, they, instead of repenting and changing course, they're doubling down now. And they're doubling down on judgment. You double down on tyranny, you double down on judgment. It's coming. So, there's redemption for anybody to choose today. Where you're going to go with this, what you're going to do. Look, people have been talking about, I would have lost my house, I would have lost this, I would have lost that. You're trying to keep your place in a world system that's falling away, guys. For what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? You're a living testimony to that quote by the greatest teacher who ever lived. And I want to finish now with just a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He led the civil rights movement in America, as you know. And I'll just finish with his quote. It's profound. It's actually been something I've had to keep me going through these dark days. This quote right here, I'll read it out to you. Martin Luther King Jr., I say to you this morning that if you have never found something so dear and so precious to you that you will die for it, then you aren't fit to live. You may be 38 years old, as I happen to be, and one day some great opportunity stands before you and calls upon you to stand up for some great principle, some great issue, some great cause. And you refuse to do it because you're afraid. You refuse to do it because you want to live longer. You're afraid that you'll lose your job, or you're afraid that you'll be criticised, or that you'll lose your popularity, or you're afraid that somebody will stab you, or shoot you, or bomb your house, and so you refuse to take the stand. Well, you may go on and live until you are 90, but you're just as dead at 38 as you would be at 90. And the cessation of breathing in your life is but the belated announcement of an earlier death of the spirit. You died when you refused to stand up for right. You died when you refused to stand up for truth. You died when you refused to stand up for justice. Let's live today. Let's choose life. God bless you guys. I love you all. Keep the faith. We win. Keep the faith. We win.
So we're going to do the Hakka, guys. Get amongst it, have a listen.
Enough is enough. Destiny Church. Everybody tangata! Tena! Ita kahia! Painaatte! Ihmettelmänä! Odota nuotteja! Etua! Etua! Aha, kouloi! Maataan! Hei, Brisbane! Hau! Hau! Nuotteja! Tua! Hau! Hau! Kaupare ei teknistä tahjattu! Itse kauheina! Rikannatautuu! Iui tappuu! Hei! Kannattaa! Iui tappuu! Hei! Kannattaa! Alkoi kauhe! Hau! Hau! Alkoi kauhe! Hau! Hau! Kappalilaste on kaukista paareaarikin! Latteja tua! Oho! Tourokkei! Tourokkei! Panneke! Panneke! Tourokkei! Tourokkei! Panneke! Panneke! Tuu kannattaa! Anna vahinne! Tuu kannattaa! Anna taane! Anna taane! Tuu kannattaa! Hiiaue! Tuu kannattaa! Hii! What do we want? We want freedom!
Would you like this, sir?
Freedom from tyranny and communism!
Teachers must unite! Standing up for Maori right! Queensland teachers must unite! Standing up for Maori right! Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace! Discrimination has no place!
Discrimination has no place.
Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Grace, grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place!
Discrimination has no place.
Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Grace, grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place!
Discrimination has no place.
What's the line and do it?
We want freedom! We want freedom from tyranny!
What's the violence and tyranny? Set up Queensland teachers free! What's the violence and tyranny? Set up Queensland teachers free!
Stand up, Queensland, hit the street.
What's the violence and tyranny?
False compliance and tyranny.
Set up Queensland teachers free!
Stand up, Queensland, get near the rest.
What's the violence and tyranny?
False compliance and tyranny.
Set up Queensland teachers free!
Stand up, Queensland, teachers free.
The people united will never be divided!
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided!
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided!
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided!
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided!
The people united will never be divided.
We see, we know! You will not have to go! We see, we know! You will not always say no! We see, we know! You will not have to go! We see, we know! You will not always say no! We are the people! We are the power!
We are the power!
We are the people!
We are the people!
We
We are the power.
We are the power.
We are the people.
We are the people.
We are the power.
We are the power.
We are the people.
We are the people.
We are the power.
We are the power.
We are the people. We are the power. We are the people. We are the power. I need new batteries, bro. I'm gonna need new batteries, man. This thing's fucking freaking out. 2 double A's. 3 double A's.
Intimidation has no place. Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, you're a disgrace. Intimidation has no place. Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place. Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, you're a disgrace.
You're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
teachers free. False compliance and tyranny. Set our Queensland teachers free. False compliance and tyranny. Set our Queensland teachers free. False compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
teachers must unite. Standing up for what is right. Queensland teachers must unite. Standing up for what is right. Queensland teachers must unite. Standing up for what is right. Queensland teachers must unite. Standing up for what is right.
Teachers free! Force compliance and tyranny! Set our Queensland teachers free! Force compliance and tyranny! Set our Queensland teachers free! Force compliance and tyranny! Set our Queensland teachers free! Discrimination has no place. Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite. Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
The Education Minister's name is Grace. Grace, funnily enough. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place. He's dropping me off. United will never be divided.
The people 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 united will never be divided.
The people
united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided. And that's because we are one. 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 Get louder, guys, come on. We are one. We
Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers are being shafted big time. Those that chose not to partake in the experimental jab were stood down without pay. That's an unlawful action. A teacher must commit a criminal offence to be stood down without pay. They are now allowed back to work. These teachers that didn't want to take the jab for their own health reasons are now allowed back to work next to their vaccinated counterparts to perform the exact same duties, but they're getting paid less now. No experimental jab, which does not stop you from catching the virus or stop you from spreading the virus. They're now punishing people for saying no to it. Does this sound like a free and democratic society anymore that we're living in? They're unfairly punishing people for making the decision that they think best for themselves and their family. Communist China, the Communist Chinese Party, the government in China, they have a system called the social credit system. They give you points. If you're a teacher and you say no, your points go down. If you're a good little citizen and listen to everything they say without thinking and do everything as you're told, you get rewarded with points. If your points drop below a certain score, the train ticket stops working. You can't go to work, you can't go to school, you can't go to work and provide for your family. They lock you out for not obeying their orders. If everybody here wants to remain in a democratic society, people need to start listening to these words and start working together and start having a say. If you don't have a say, you get played, and our government is playing us. They don't pay attention to anything we're saying. They give you two choices, red or blue, Labor or Liberal. Two wings of the same bird. They're equally corrupt as each other. They just do things slightly different. They're all controlled by the same people. The puppets having the strings pulled. People in this country need to start waking up and realise what's going on. Eastern Europeans come to these rallies all the time and they tell us they escaped communism in Eastern Europe. They are now very concerned that they are seeing the starting points of a communist society in Australia. If that's not a wake up for you, nothing is. We all come here. 20% of this crowd here is fully vaccinated. 30% of this crowd are teachers. We come from all walks of life. Black and white, Muslim and Christian, rich and poor. This is what is required to try and save our country going forward. You might not believe it. Just all I ask you is to keep your mind open and examine things. Don't follow things blindly. And when you're ready to come and join us and make an effort to save this country, we'll welcome you with open arms, no matter your colour, no matter your religion, no matter anything. I don't want to be standing here doing this. These people don't want to be standing here either. We've got better things to be doing. But it's a sacrifice that is necessary to protect our kids and protect the future generations. Thanks for listening. Let's keep walking. The
people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided. And that's because we are one.
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 Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite. Standing up for what is right.
It just works.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
She is sinister.
She is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
She is sinister.
She is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
She is sinister.
She is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
She is sinister.
She is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite and stand up for what is right.
And stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
She is sinister.
She is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
She is sinister.
She is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
She is sinister.
She is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
She is sinister.
She is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Sack them all.
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 Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
The people united will never be divided.
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 Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Standing up for what is right.
Standing up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite. Must. We've got the disgrace of politicians that think they're actually representing the people. They're not. We've got a message for the Education Minister. Grace!
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Forced compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite
Queensland teachers must unite
and stand up for what is right.
and stand up for what is right.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace. Anyway, go on, throw it. My statement is a disgrace. The situation is, Harry, hold up. For the onlookers, our teachers in Queensland are being discriminated against. Those that not to partake in the experimental injection for COVID have had their pay docked. They were sent home suspended without pay. Now they're allowed back at work, which suggests that the health risk is over. So they can stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder, with their vaccinated counterparts, teaching in the exact same way with the exact same skills, but they now have to do it at a reduced pay. That sounds like discrimination to me. The Education Minister's name is Grace. We've determined she's a disgrace. So we're going to go to the Department of Education building now and try and have a chat with her and ask her some questions about why she deems it fit to discriminate the teachers that are educating our children that play such an important and pivotal role going forward. So that's what we're about here today, guys. We have vaccinated people here today. We have unvaccinated people here today. We have black, white, Muslims, Christians. We have rich people and poor people. We must forget our differences and realise what is happening in this country is no longer okay. The Labor and Liberal Party are as bad as each other. They are your only two options, and there is no options because they are the same at the end of the day. They're two birds with the same wing.
Grubs.
The democratic society we live in is an illusion. If you care about your future or the future generations, join us, stand up for our rights, and let's make a difference together. Because without the numbers, we can't do it. Queensland teachers must unite!
Queensland teachers must unite!
Standing up Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Grace, you're a disgrace.
Discrimination has no place.
Discrimination has no place.
We don't know why we're here, but we're going to go to a once more outside this building. This government building, the Department of Education. Where a letter is being sent from onto our teachers that educate our children. One of the most important jobs in this country. Raising the children of the future. Educating the children of the future. Make the personal decision to not partake in medical experimentation with a procedure that has no long-term side effects known or short-term side effects known. They were suspended without pay for 6 to 9 months. How can you feed your family? Why would any government discriminate against their teachers, cut their pay for 6 months, while they're in the role of trying to educate our children? Shame on you!
Shame on you!
That was part one of the discrimination. Apparently, the health emergency, just wait up, brother. Apparently the health emergency is over now because these unvaccinated teachers are allowed back to work to stand shoulder to shoulder with their vaccinated counterparts. All right, makes sense. Health emergency is over. Apparently, we're still in a state of emergency, aren't we? Health emergency is over, apparently. Get the teachers back to work. But you'll be punished now, and you'll not earn as much as those teachers that you stand next to that are doing the exact same job. We're punishing you for being non-compliant. For not partaking in emergency service. That doesn't sound like a free democratic society to me. It sounds like if you can't question your government or make your own free choices, it sounds like you're living in a dictatorship. Do you want to live in a dictatorship? If anybody watching on the street or at home on Facebook Live or wherever it is, if you don't want to start living in a dictatorship, I suggest you start listening to what's going on. It might not click today, but start listening to what's going on and open your mind to the possibility that there's been an infiltration and the widespread democratic society in Australia is changing under our noses. There's something a little bit more sinister. I'm asking all these police to open their minds to it today as well. The police are our brothers and sisters as well, just like the teachers, the doctors, the pilots, everybody. We're all on this. I'm not going to say that, that's their way. We are one, and we must realise this. I don't really care what happens the rest of my life. I could die tomorrow, I'll still be happy. I've had my life. This is about the future generations that we must protect. Envision the eyes. Envision the eyes of the future generations, the innocence in their eyes, and stand up and do something to protect them. Because you know you're here for a reason. You know you're here to do that. So start stepping up more often, and let's have it out. So we're here today, Department of Education. Grace, she's not coming out. And Crowley. The woman that signed off on this letter. And Crowley. She's not going to come out. I've got somebody lined up. He's going to receive our letter. He's going to give it to Grace on our behalf. Is it going to change anything? Maybe, maybe not. But this pressure here today puts them on notice. It makes them a little bit more nervous that people are responding to the bullshit that they're trying to throw at our people. I'm not a teacher. It doesn't bother me. I'm not concerned. It doesn't affect me. But I'm still here. And so you guys, why? Because we care about each other. We care about the future.
We're here to teach her.
You know what else is bullshit? That the Queensland Police, that the commissioned officers never had to get the jab. They were mandated. Every other foot soldier, every other pawn had to get the jab. But against their will, maybe with their will, it doesn't matter. They were forced into it regardless. Why are the commissioned officers getting it? Maybe they're a bit more valuable to Queen, what's her name? Bloody Commissioner Carroll. Maybe they're a bit more valuable than you, brother. Senior Constable. She's forcing you into it. Wasn't she forcing the other boys at the top? Maybe they spend a bit more money on the train, a bit more, they're worth more. Think about who you're working for, guys. If I work for a boss and he said, my upper management, I'm going to look after them, they don't have to get the jab. But all my foot soldiers, the ones that kick them, they're not working together, they're replaceable. That's what's happening here. They might make the excuse that the inspector doesn't come down on the ground, he comes down on the ground, he comes to every rally, he gets amongst the unvaccinated crowd. That excuse that the boss gives you
That's right.
is bullshit. We're not here for that today. What I'm trying to say is that looking at you guys too. That's not fair. That's bullshit, guys. Alright, we're going to protect you guys, we're going to stand with you guys as well. Right, guys, so I'm going to cruise in now to meet a gentleman called Paul Reynolds, External Relationship Director. I don't know what the hell that means. All the fancy titles is unlimited bureaucrats that do fuck all, that take all the money from us, that put all these decisions in play that discriminate against us. So I'm going to give you this letter, you can take it up to Great Straits for us.
Get someone to hold it. No.
Our concern out here is the fact that the teachers are now allowed back to work, so that shows that this health risk is minimal or it's not there anymore. Our concern is that they're doing the same job next to their vaccinated counterparts, but they're getting paid less. They're getting discriminated against. It's not fair. Everyone answers. He's not authorised to comment. Of course, he's not authorised to comment. He can't talk because they're not a porn. Puppets, what else they got? Puppets stay on the street school. They're not allowed to talk. And that's what we're going to turn into if we don't keep standing up. And that's why we came here today. This is not going to reverse the decision. We know that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that what we've done today is going to reverse that decision. But it applies a small amount of pressure and it shows that we are together and we are united and we're not going to stand down. That's what it's about here today. media. I want to thank the Queensland Police again for, walking with us. I wasn't having an arm earlier. I was explaining the situation, how we see it. And then we're going to stand with you. When you're ready to come join us, we'll welcome you in. Where's Carla going?
I'm a teacher.
Hey, Tricky, if there's time afterwards, I'm a teacher. I wrote a little poem if I could.
How long is it?
Probably a minute and a half.
I have taught all of your children. Well, maybe not, but someone I know has. I have taught them problem solving. I have taught them critical thinking. I have taught them 4 curriculums in many countries. And I give up my career today because I know that you won't let me back. She's the only one in her school listed on the disclosure law, and there were seven staff. Because this is teachers, deputy principals, relief teachers. It is the groundsman, the teacher aide, the tuck shop lady, the cleaners. So, where are the figures and where's your data?
Hello everyone, and thanks for coming. My name is Ryan Leonard. I'm a maths and science teacher, and I'm going to repeat the Australian Federation Party and the electorate of Broome to warm up. I wanted to share this short poem I wrote, feeling that's written down, to express how I feel being a teacher who has lost work for the last year just to be let back, to be put down a pay grade. And how I feel going back for the first time this week just to have my pay docked. For the last 2 years we have wallowed in our government's tyranny and corruption. One power grab after another followed, and now teachers face another deduction. Even though all the evidence and data coming out shows, even the mainstream media is admitting it and the public knows, that the vaccine does not stop infection or reduce transmission. That unjabbed is a merely wordless distinction. It's not enough that teachers and nurses are insulted and replaced. Labour's solution to the shortage is bribing uni students and cheap migrants, leaving thousands of unjabbed Aussie staff cast aside like waste. It's amazing that we still have people willing to work for these tyrants. Despite all the Aussie laws against discrimination, Education Minister Grace Graceless has claimed without vaccination, teachers who have already been stood down and dismissed should come back to work just to be punished. These hypocrites preach about diversity and inclusion, while the true causes of their crimes against the people, from intimidation to bribery to ultimatums and mass coercion, such vindictive actions could surely not be legal. For the crime of daring to go against the grain and exercising bodily autonomy to lose a pay grade, no permission to traditional wisdom or medicine, this is just the very start of our own credit system. It's time to make a stand and let all of us convey that we won't allow these draconian communists like Dan Andrews and Anastasia Palaszczuk get away with their crimes of good conscience. So let's make some noise, let's cheer and shout, let all those parliamentarians have no doubt. Nothing will stop us from standing up for our rights. Otherwise, our children will have to pay the price. So let's say no to talking teachers' pay. It is not a crime to stand up for our human right of choice. It is a great blessing that all of us can be here in solidarity today. For all teachers, parents and students who couldn't make it, we can be their voice. So what do you say? Are we going to let them get away with this? Are we going to let them bully our teachers? What do we say to discriminate make sure to attend the rally September 17th in just over 2 weeks' time. It's a worldwide rally. Invite your friends, invite everyone you know, Jabbed or Unjabbed. It's time for these pollies to go.
We've done what we can do today. So I think we just need this one last message. Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Discrimination has no place!
Discrimination has no place!
Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Discrimination has no place!
Discrimination has no place!
Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Discrimination has no place! Louder! Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Discrimination has no place! Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace!
Discrimination has no place! Grace! Grace! You're a disgrace! Discrimination has no place! And if you think it ends here, you're kidding yourselves. Let's keep going, guys. Very much.
Well done. This works so well.
What do you think?
Good, but you didn't stand my chance.
Oh, I should have. There's still chance.
Who's 15?
I deserve that. Yeah. And stand up for what is right. Queensland teachers must unite. And stand up for what is right. Grace, grace, no disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Grace, no disgrace. Grace, grace, no disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Discrimination has no place. Grace, grace, you're a disgrace. Grace, grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. Discrimination has no place. Grace, grace, you're a disgrace. Grace, grace, you're a disgrace. Discrimination has no place. False compliance and tyranny. Set our Queensland teachers free. Thank you. Set our Queensland teachers free. False compliance and tyranny. Set our Queensland teachers free. False compliance and tyranny. False compliance and tyranny. Set our Queensland teachers free. Set our Queensland teachers free. False compliance and tyranny. False compliance and tyranny. Set our Queensland teachers free. Set our Queensland teachers free. She is sinister. She is sinister. Sack the minister. Sack the minister. She is sinister. She is sinister. Sack the minister. Sack the minister. She is sinister. She is sinister. Sack the minister. Sack the minister. She is sinister. She is sinister. Sack the minister. Sack the minister. She is sinister.
the minister.
Sack the minister.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
And stand up for what is right.
And stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
And stand up for what is right.
And stand up for what is right. The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided.
Queensland people.
The people united will never be divided.
Will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
That's because we are one.
We are one.
Louder, guys. We are one.
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 Look, whoa, that's nuts, those 5G. That's incredible. New?
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
And stand up for what is right.
And stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
And stand up for what is right.
And stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
And stand up for what is right.
And stand up for what is right.
Queensland teachers must unite.
Queensland teachers must unite.
And stand up for what is
Have a go?
right.
Give me a break.
Stand up for what is right.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Must comply.
Just put your mouth up to them.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Force compliance and tyranny.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
Set our Queensland teachers free.
She is sinister.
She is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
She is sinister.
She is sinister.
Sack the minister.
Sack the minister.
We're about back, guys. So let's roll it up with some chants for ourselves, eh?
Okay.
Everywhere we go,
Everywhere we go,
people want to know
people want to know
who we are,
who we are,
where we come from.
where we come from.
So we tell them
So we tell them
we're from TPR.
we're from TPR.
Mighty, mighty TPR.
Mighty, mighty TPR.
The mighty, 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 mighty TPR.
Mighty, 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 mighty.
And if you can't hear us,
If you can't hear us,
shout a little louder.
shout a little louder.
TPR.
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 That's who we are.
That's who we are.